good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Home Service Live. I was just making sure that I'd not unmuted us. Good evening. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's very polite. Very polite.
Who's got us on speaker?
Hey.
Nah, it's not me. It's him. Sorry, him.
Him down
All right.
there.
I'd stamp on the floor, but my real neighbours would get pissed.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, people on the replay. Good evening, everyone in chat. Hope you're all well. Tonight's show. Ooh.
It may touch a few nerves tonight,
I
actually.
couldn't make up my mind whether to call it The Woking Bad, Woking on the Wild Side, which I ended up going for. And there was quite a few wokey things that I could have put.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah, The Woking Dead.
Woke me up before you Google.
Yeah. Also, with our main topic is obviously about woking. We'll be doing a lot of woking tonight. We've got Shytots giveaway.
We have.
So big shout out to Jane, thank you, and Huggles.
Thank you so much, Jane.
And she's on holiday at the present moment.
Is she sending her buns?
Well, by all accounts, she told me this morning that she'll be on Lalo watching us. Is it a Lalo or Lilo?
There. The ducky is there. I can confirm the ducky is in chat.
Well, Jane, I hope you like the... No, wrong way. Down. Yeah, somewhere. No, other way. That way. I hope you like your little logo thingamajig I did.
Yeah. I've just realised.
What?
It's the king duck enjoying water sports. Oh, couldn't resist that one. Right. Oh, God, I'm still on twat as well.
You're still on Twatty Chat. So, guys, how are you?
All right, apart from fucking melting.
Yeah.
Very warm.
It is.
This weather's not made for the larger chap.
Now, I've got seaweed swamp S.
Haven't you got your liquid talc?
This is going by liquid talc.
Oh,
My butt crack feels like fucking Chernobyl at the moment.
really?
Yeah.
Martin saved that for just a little bit later because that feeds in very nicely.
Woking in a winter wonderland. Like it, Ross.
And before the I'm offended that you're offended that I'm offended, not a fuck will be given.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was just about to say as well.
I've got to admit, I think this topic that we're going to be talking about tonight before we say hello to everyone has been brewing with us three for quite a while.
It has, but I'm hoping we're going to put just that little bit of service live twist to it.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So if you're expecting rants, you might get them in parts, but you will also get a reason for that rant, not just a tirade of...
Speak for yourself. I'm just in for the tirades. I don't care. I'm just in for the Tasmanian devil bit. That bit.
That was a word from our resident thug.
If your name's not there, you're not coming in.
No, I can't fault you, Stevie, because I've seriously sort of thought tonight about what you're going to touch on, mate. Yeah, got to be careful here.
We're going to do it in a mature manner.
Indeed, and before we start, we're not out to cause offence to anybody.
Oh, God, no.
So let's get that off from the start. Not in a pink and fluffy and we cuddle the world way, just in a completely normal human beings, respect each other, not wanting to cause offence way. Yeah? Not because it's politically fucking correct.
Well, before we
But
go
anyway.
any further, just want to shout out Jace from Zeus Juice. Absolutely brilliant meeting you last night on our Aiden show. Really enjoyed it.
Why is he bombing us?
I don't know.
Oh, it's a bomb.
He's just found the emojis.
It's a bomb.
Dude, are you going to give him a shout out?
Yes, I shall. Bill Richards, darling. I hope the velvet smoking jacket is well affixed, young Mr. Richards, this evening. BCV, dude. How you doing? Billy Lee, good evening, madam. Uggles. God, she must have some serious industrial shelves at her place. What?
I'm shaking my head at Kev.
All right. I was thinking, no, she's got lots of mods. Have you seen some of Billy's pictures up on Facebook?
Yeah.
Jesus.
We get him on the our Aiden show, and it's all nicely, neatly ordered and everything. Our Aiden's well impressed with that, where it's got a box for coils, box for cotton.
That's a sign of issues, Billy. When you've got label boxes, it's not good. Chloe M, good evening and welcome. Not a name I recognise. If this is the first show, hi.
Hello and welcome.
Dawn W, I recognise that name. Hello, you. Hello.
Okay.
Maxi M's, good evening.
Faxi, fist bump.
That was what?
That was creepy.
Yeah, I know.
Thank
it was
you.
mega creepy.
What can I just address something we mentioned? Faxi, I haven't sent your stuff yet because my bloody printer viral cutter thing packed in, so I didn't manage to get a decal cut. New band arrived today, so the printer's back up and running, so I'll get your decal cut tonight and posted out to you first thing on Saturday. Hope that's okay with you, because I need to do more for Mark as well, because his went missing in the post.
Yes, thank you, Royal Fail.
Third breath.
Deep He's going red, isn't he?
Good evening, darling.
Buggles.
Buggles.
One of
Jane
these days, we're going to have to call fucking 999 for you. As you're sliding down the chair going purple.
He's going to pass out. I'm telling you, one day he's going to pass out doing it.
Yes.
Leave me alone. I'm happy.
He's either going to pass out or he's going to shit himself.
If it's good enough for Michael Hutchins, it's good enough for me. Right. Jane Downs, good evening.
Oh, you're vaping on orange.
Rules. Yeah, in the cupboard. Right. Jason Khan, already mentioned by the young Mr. SoulOhm. Good evening, sir. Hope you're well. John Vaping Joker, good evening. Hope you're well, sir. Kevin Smith.
Fist bump.
Hello. Fist bump. Mark H, EVL.
All
Hope
right.
you had a good day, mate.
Go for that.
Somebody slipped in my back door then. Free Rider, good evening, dude.
Oh, Joker in. Fisty bumps. Oh, you're all right, bud.
Late Night Vape Show, I believe that would be Mick, possibly Bill. Either way, good evening, chaps. How you doing? The Vaping Snowman. Good evening, Snowman. Wish you were here, stood in front of the fan. Extra cold air, you know what I mean? Vapor Bunny. Oh, sorry, Vapor. Norse Vapor. Snuck in my back door, you naughty
Fisty
boy.
bumps.
Good evening. And last but by no means least, the vivacious vixen of Vavavoom, Vapor Bunny. Rules. And let's see if anybody else has slipped into live chat while we've been doing that. We've got Stuart Valentine, voice of
Stuart
Australia.
Valentine.
G'day.
The
G'day.
voice of Australia. Fisty bumps.
Hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, I think Stuart's probably up on his way to getting ready for work, isn't he?
It's about 5
Bill-
o'clock in the morning for him.
I know, it's incredible. Russ Morgan, good evening, Russ. Gordon Bennett, my jaw went there. Martin Saunders, good evening, sir. And I
Proper
think
Coils
No,
is in as
proper
well.
coils.
Proper
Pasty.
Coils. Pasty, darling.
Hello.
Hello, Dawn. Christopher Earl, good evening.
Christopher Earl.
Yes.
Mr. Sinner is in.
Oh, the Lord of Lewdness, the God of the Gutter. Sin is in. Good evening. Right, I think we're done.
You think we're done?
Right,
Oh,
and every name that Steve has mentioned, give us a thumbs up, guys.
Yes, please.
Please.
We need to beat 36. We need to beat 36. I think that's the highest we've got is 36 thumbs up. It'd be nice to beat that. So before we get into our big main topic, anything
Hey.
you two would like to say?
As in,
Anything?
happy birthday.
You say happy birthday. It's not my birthday, but hey.
Don't know what we've done.
No, nothing. I just didn't know he had something.
That's why I was wondering. I was starting to panic there.
I was
I
thinking,
love putting you two on the spot. You
oh,
shit
no, God,
yourself.
he's going to give us a bollocking on live camera. No.
Right, we're either getting lines of detention.
I shall not. No, I just wondered
but-
if there was anything that you wanted to bring up before we started the main topic.
Bit embarrassing for Wandsworth, weren't it?
Just a little.
Naughty.
I think I'm going to hide underneath this lorry.
Yeah, but the stupid thing is, if he strapped himself under, he's either got belts or... Because if you try and tie yourself to a sheet under a wagon, it doesn't work. It really doesn't, because there's nowhere to actually anchor.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I would have thought before a vehicle left a prison, they'd go around with, mirror.
You do that, yes, but that only goes so far.
Well, how far do you want it to go?
Depends how big the wagon was. If it was a Arctic delivery for the kitchens,
No, it's only, what was it? It was once an Arctic, it were a box van.
and well, if you knowing from first-hand experience, if it was a box van, then somebody's on gardening leave as we speak.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the gentleman that let them out the gate.
Well,
Because I bet his bum's like that.
Our bum's
probably
not like
not. I think it's probably like that after the number one's got through with him.
Yeah, I don't envy him.
Yes, Rat Concrete. Who knew?
Do you know something? How long ago? I used to be a batcher, and I've never even heard of it. Never heard of it, and I worked in the concrete industry for 5 years.
So
Never heard
it's
of it.
from the sounds of it, it's the concrete version of whipped brie.
Sounds like an aero.
Yeah.
But you've got to think about when these buildings were built. I'd love to know the age of them.
1950s, I believe.
Yeah,
50s.
but they all go all the way up to the 90s by all accounts.
Naughty. Well, what makes me laugh is they were talking about concrete that floats.
Yeah, it's true.
They were talking about putting basically anodes into the wall. So if you run a low electric current through these anodes that they insert into the wall, it draws the moisture away from the load-bearing ironwork within it to the anode. It's quite fascinating.
But the thing is, though, they should have been replaced. It's like anything else. It's when you've got not wimpy houses, prefab houses. They've still got them in this village, and all they did was brick round them.
Oh, yeah. The driver was paid a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine the driver was paid. There's got to be an inside job. It's got to be.
To be fair, it doesn't have to be because somebody's mentioned the heartbeat monitors. Not worth a bag of shite.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, how is he going to survive? Got no money, no change of clothing.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Well, not a problem if you're going to steal off someone, but that's going to notify someone.
Oh, yeah, but, right. The first thing they do is they look away from the nick. Yeah? So if it's only a small box van, it's suggesting it's a local delivery. Yeah? If I was ever wanting the safest place in England to live, I would live right next door to the asylum. Bit of common sense. I mean,
but by all accounts, there's woods around there, and they're already heat-seeking with helicopters around there anyway.
Heat-seeking. I love that idea. Is that the same? Is that the same sort that the Leicester City boss was in? Yeah,
No, it's that one where they do the heat. Thermal imaging.
Oh, yeah, the thermal imaging cameras. I just love the idea of heat-seeking helicopter.
It sounds better, doesn't it? All of a sudden you can hear... Right, are we going to get on to the main topic? Because I think this is going to fill our topic. The word woke. Now, before we get into our rants and raves and that, I really want to ask both of you, what do you interpretate as woke?
I'll just ask you what the meaning of this so-called word interpretate is. Interpret? Yeah.
Okay.
Go, likes a smart ass, Stephen.
Okay, you can start, smart ass. I'll get you back.
It's
Your ass is mine now.
Your ass is grass and he's a lawnmower.
woke. So basically becoming incensed over social injustice, normally about race, but can be about pretty much anything.
Yeah, that is so like the definition based on Google. What's your definition?
Pretty much that.
Yeah, well,
It's been adopted by various causes.
It's grown arms and legs, to be honest.
It's fucking ridiculous. That's what it is.
And it was initially it was to do with the Black Lives Matters thing that kicked off in the States, and then everything has just been shoved under the one umbrella.
You see, personally, this is just me personally. When I first started hearing woke this, or you need to be woke that, I didn't know what it meant or anything like that. And when you Google what woke means, you're aware of different races, you're aware of things like that. And I thought, yeah, that's actually quite a good thing. Which I will assume both of you two would agree that being aware of people's disabilities, race, creed, religion, I mean, we're all open to that, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. But woke, that's what woke is basically meaning. But for some reason, it seems to be if you're woke, you're the kind of the opposite.
Right. Growl number one.
Ooh, fucking buckle up, people. Here we go.
It only took him 2 minutes.
Growl number one. All these fucking right-on wankers under the age of 40. Right, boys, history lesson for you. The people that you are saying are the bad guys, us, the Gen Xers, the baby boomers, the rest of it, where do you think all this shit started? Yeah? Before the baby boomers, there was The suffragettes. You did not invent this. You can go back in history, and no matter how much you try and cancel it and get rid of it all, there's people before you. Everybody's fucking aware of this. The only thing that's changed is there's a load of people now squealing about how fucking wonderful they are because they are aware of it and they want to do something about it. They don't do anything about it. They interfere with normal people. Supergluing yourself to the M25, stopping ambulances with people who are suffering from bloody...
yeah, but is that... Yeah, what you've just saying there,
that's
is
all
that
part of
actually
the
woke?
That is all part of that woke culture. Yeah, the Black Lives Matter. Yeah, if you didn't get down on one knee, you were the bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was more peer pressure than anything else, wasn't it?
Well, that's what all it is. They're a load of sheep, man. We invented punk. We were shouting it from the rooftops. Yeah. Gay rights. It was illegal. So which generation was it that melded pop music and pop culture with anti-racism?
Oh, yeah, totally. But I mean, that was going back to the 60s.
Exactly. So where's all this, if you're white and you're over 50, you don't understand. Or you are racist or you are misogynistic.
But what I'm trying to get right, this is why I asked the question, was the actual idea of being woke isn't a bad thing, is it?
No, because initially was alerting the wider public to racial prejudice and discrimination. Initially, that's what it was. Going back to 2010.
Nelson Mandela never happened then. Sorry,
no, but this is where the I mean, I've got it up here just now. Woke is an adjective derived from African American vernacular English, meaning alert to racial prejudice and discrimination, beginning in the 2010s. It came to encompass a broader awareness of social inequalities such as sexism and LGBT rights, but further down, and this is from Merriam-Webster. Woke definition, meaning the meaning of woke is aware of and actively attentive to important social facts and issues. So it's grown arms and legs. So it's went from what it stood for initially, and it's went...
Again, all this has gone before. It didn't need a fucking phrase. All you needed was a conscience and a pair of eyes. And the bollocks to stand up against it.
But people like putting things in boxes, don't they?
No,
people
we
like
didn't.
Tags. We are a tag generation.
No. We're not.
We're not.
No, we are. We are.
Oh, I
Where do
wouldn't
you
say
think
we
Twitter
were.
and all that lot came from?
Nah.
Yeah. We are that generation. We are the computer generation.
We are, but...
And we created all this, Facebook and all that lot.
Right.
We created as much as this internet social as you saying that we created punk. It's exactly the same. It's no different.
We did.
Punk was anti-establishment.
Facebook was invented by the generation below us.
We was part of it.
No, we were there.
We were part of it.
We didn't do the social... Right. So... I'm guessing we've all got social media and that. How many of us sit there taking fucking selfies and rearranging our hair as if we're just waking up? Yet we're wearing full fucking makeup, lippy, eye gloss.
That's no different from you posting memes all day long.
That's fucking different. I'm just bored and I'm out to make people suffer.
It's no different. Yeah, but what you're doing and what they're doing is no different, surely.
Hugely, because I'm not ramming
it
it down some Karen's throat. If they don't like it, don't look at the fucker. I don't care. taking the place of biological females who have worked hard all their lives to complete unfair playing. Don't start the weightlifters again, for God's
You
sake.
see, it's like what Marty's just turned around and said. Sorry, Mark, you didn't. The millennials born after 82. So, after 82, we all stopped using computers. Come on. Gee.
No, but you can see where this comes from.
Yeah, but it doesn't... again, these millennials, this Generation X, it's a load of bollocks.
It's a very handy way, and it is scientific, because that's where the Gen X comes from. And the millennials. It's a way of showing the edges of the generations. There's a mix. There is a mix. Gen X was the first generation that bestrode analog and digital. We were there at the start.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you can't turn around to me and say that, yeah, well, it wasn't us that did that, it were them. Well, it's not. It's computer, the evolution of the home computer was just as part of my generation is millennials.
It is 100%, but the idea that to become offended on somebody else's behalf,
that's a totally different matter altogether. That's a personal thing. If you get offended for somebody else, that's a totally different matter. What we're talking about.
But the main cause of that is social media, because people want to be seen to be right on. Now, we haven't bought into social media that way.
No, we haven't. No, totally.
No, but the generations after us have. That's where that comment was coming from. But it's fucking mental. How many councils now do you see banning stuff just in case? Not actually talking to the people that it might be offending, but banning it just in case.
Well, it's like the conversation that we had 2 weeks ago when we're on about the BBC is scared to actually go into deeper documentaries because of it.
Village. Oh, them's fighting words. Gen X, etc. is just a way to separate and create fighting and infighting amongst us all.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because look, I'm not being funny, but saying you're a Gen X and you're a millennial, isn't that segregating people? And the whole point of woke is not to segregate people.
If that's the case, you wouldn't be banging on about Black Lives Matter. It'd be everybody's life. And I know that's being used by right-wing
yeah, but it's true. I mean, every lives matter.
Exactly. So not one particular person or race, colour, creed, sex, sexual orientation, whatever.
Yeah, but I know it sounds daft, but calling someone a millennial or a Gen X, surely that is doing exactly the same.
No, it's identifying the period in which they were born.
Yeah, but if you're classing, right, well, it's all millennials' fault.
Right.
Yeah, they started that. No, where's the line that you draw?
I would say that works to some extent, because the values and the acceptable behaviours that you grew up with, yeah. So like 1950s, everything was very formal in the UK. A lot of it was very formal, dependent on what, where you were and what you were doing. But the BBC there wasn't regional accents on it. Everybody had these plummy voices. They'd go mad now if you did that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So by saying a boomer, immediately you get that idea about what it is likely. I'm not saying it is, but what it is likely that they are going to support and accept.
Yeah, but again, if you're trying to be open about it, and no, that should have no resemblance whatsoever.
No, I think it does, because you have to understand where people are coming from. Right. The rule of dick is very simple. It's a rule I love to follow. If you're not a dick to me, I won't be a dick to you. I will make allowances to certain dickish behaviour. Yeah. If I knew somebody was raised in a highly religious family, and I'm going to use this one, and they suddenly start spouting Bible quotes at me, I'm going to think, yeah, it's probably his norm. Ignore it. Yeah. If some geezer I know got brought up on a council estate, yeah, listening to Black Sabbath, practicing sacrificing his Barbie dolls, and he starts trying to ram religion down my throat because he's just discovered it, different story. Very different story. But you take that on the individual. You don't do, I agree with you, you don't do it on born in 1970, therefore he must be a Jimmy Savile fan, you know.
I just think this Gen X and all that lot, I think it's meaningless.
It's
No,
label. That's just a label for the sake of a label. That's all
Yeah.
that is.
No, well, it might be for you. For me, it's just an idea about what it's when they were born. So what
Yeah,
you're
no,
going to have a very good idea
Yeah,
about.
no, I agree with that. It's a name they've given for a specific periods in time when generations or the different generations started to take over, kind of thing. But it is just a label at the end of the day. It doesn't mean fuck all.
Yeah, but it's the same as
But
Neanderthal.
but the thing is, in this day and age, it's getting bandied about far too much.
I think it is.
I
when
mean,
you're talking about eras, and sorry to interrupt you, Betty, it's like
All right,
saying
Paul.
the Victorian era or the Edwardian era. Yeah? You wouldn't class, because they come from the Victorian era, what the old, I mean, what type of person is that?
But again, I don't think it's a great idea for when you're doing big stuff, but when you're doing the little stuff, because when you're looking at all this, that was all under Elizabeth II. That is a massive range of views and
Oh yeah,
value.
I'm not on about who was reigning, but let's face it, if you was from the 1800s, you was classed as a Victorian, only because of who was the monarch.
Yeah.
But there were no millennials or all like that then.
Yeah, there was vagabonds, and ruffians.
So when it comes to it
Laggards.
now that we've got millennials, whatever they're called, I don't think it means anything. It's just the one generation is being able to blame the other generation.
Yeah, we did the same thing.
We are doing the same thing. What do you mean we did the same thing? We are doing it. You've just done it.
Yeah.
You've blamed the internet for millennials or Gen Xers or whatever.
No. I blame the thought process of I must conform and therefore I'm going to decry anybody that doesn't follow the herd. I would say those of us from our generation are more used to sitting there and thinking about it first and saying, do I agree with this? Does it affect me? Yes or no? If it doesn't, fuck it. If it does, I'll have a listen. I might join in if I feel strongly enough.
Faxi, I totally agree.
Yeah, that's just about to say that 100%, Faxi.
Oh, and we did it. Yeah, we blamed the hippies. We blamed the hippies for the yuppies.
See,
Yeah, I think the big difference now is I mean, you knocked the nail on the head earlier on. Social media has got a lot to do with it. We just read all this stuff in newspapers when we were growing up. Saw it in the news, that was it. But it's in your face 24/7
Yeah.
now. That's the big difference. You cannot get away from it. You turn your TV on, you turn your phone on, you put your computer on, you go into Facebook, you go into Instagram, you go into Evergram, you get into No, it's not Pornhub. That's a different thing altogether. And it's in your face. Pornhub's in your face. You know what I mean? It's there. It's there. You only need to scroll through a couple of things, then there's something coming up that somebody's pissed off at somebody. There's a Karen did this, or what is it they call the males that do it, that go off in one? They call name Ken. I don't know. They call name Ken's. I fucking know. But anyway, you're going to get somebody getting pissed off, and you're getting this Just Stop Oil mob. They're a shower of fucking wankers, and they seem to be in the news and in the media every day of the bloody week. And it's fucking beyond a joke.
That's why they're doing this shit. To get in the news, to get on the media.
Personally, you know what I'd like to do? A fucking Saris and armoured car fucking straight over the top of the cunts.
I mean, the thing is, the social media's turned, if you will, civil issues into Britain's Got Fucking Talent.
Also, I mean, let's face it, our opinions that we have, we think that we're grown men and we've got opinions and our opinions are valid. But how many times have them opinions been altered because of things like social media?
Yeah.
Because let's face it, you watch BBC News or any news outlet, and I don't think a day goes by without the word climate change.
Mm. Yeah, that's because it's fucking warm in September.
Right? So, if you're pounded with this information continuously pounded, at some point you are eventually going to kind of follow the herd.
Right. Something like climate change. Yeah. There is evidence for it. There are some big changes. There's a lot of suffering being caused by it. So switching over to an eco-friendly or maybe taking a couple of trips less in the car a week, which is what your average Joe Blogs is doing. Yeah. That's people feel satisfied with that. The ones that are ranting and doing the poster and taking all the pictures and whacking it up on Facebook, and if you don't agree with me, then you're some sort of evil monster. Nah.
Yeah, but it is. That's the thing. Right, I'll give you an example. COVID.
Yeah.
The jabs.
Right.
Yeah, if you didn't have a jab, you were blooming ostracised. You could lose your job if you didn't get the jab. Remember that?
Yeah.
And look how we all followed like sheep. And we did. And no one can deny it in this country. We all followed it like sheep. Wearing masks. People were grassing people up because they'd gone for a walk, took the dog for a walk.
That's a different matter altogether. That's being a bloody idiot.
No, that was how society is. We're sheep. We are just total sheep. We think that we've got an opinion. We think that we've got our own minds on that lot. We haven't.
Right. I got the jabs because of where I work.
You was forced to have it. You had no choice.
I'd already made my mind up I was having it before.
No, you had irrespective. You had no choice. You had to have it.
No, I was going to have it whether I had to have it or not.
You had to have it, irrespective if you wanted it or not.
Don't matter.
You go. Could that matter? It totally matters. It evaluates your opinion about it because you had to have it.
No, it doesn't at all, mate.
I didn't have to have it. I had a choice.
Yeah.
I could either have it or not have it. But the problem is, social media, not only social media, the government as well, was making you, if you don't have it, you're not right in the head. You're a heathen.
Right. If I didn't work where I did, 100%. I did work where I did. NHS. We were told that we had to have it.
I mean, there was getting to the point. There was getting to the point when Hunt was turning around and saying, "If you didn't have it, we'd sack you."
Yeah, and then he backtracked like mad.
Yeah, I know.
I still had it because I didn't want to bring.
Well, we understand the reason why.
Yeah.
But you had people grassing other people up because they were taking the dog for a walk. There were people, I mean, there were some really nasty people. He's not wearing a mask.
Oh, the amount of times I had arguments with people having a pop at somebody. They didn't have a fucking clue whether they had a breathing condition or anything like that.
What I'm trying to get at is that through social media and the news and everything else, we are bloody sheep. And we are sheep.
The problem is, it seems to be a certain type of people that do it. And look, going back to the COVID thing, yeah? Caitlin, my youngest, autistic, could not bear having the mask on, yeah? Which is why I ended up having so many Barneys. When we were allowed out, she really couldn't wear the mask. And it wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't the younger ones. It was the Karens. It was normally female. It was normally somewhere in the range of 40 to 50. And they were pointing at her like the bloody invasion of the body snatchers at the end. Yeah. And it got to the point where we did stop going out because of the amount of shit it was causing. But I know, you know.
It doesn't matter if you're a millennial, an X, or whatever. We are 2 steps away from pitchforks and blooming hanging and bloody burning people.
Oh, we are. But I can guarantee the ones at the front will be fucking
Whoa.
Karens.
And yes, I do know that the internet was created by the military. It was designed so that there was no central point.
Yep.
So you had no city. So if you bombed the main city, it didn't matter.
It's mind controlling drugs in
Exactly,
the tap water.
Gail. Gail's just put a really good one. As vapers, we are aware of the propaganda machine, and yet people still fall for the gov line installing fear without educating themselves. Yeah, totally agree with you.
100%. WHO just published a report saying there are more people who have died or injured through the vaccine died of COVID. I wouldn't trust a word that bunch of muppets say.
Yeah, but the thing is, even with the COVID, with the injections as well, there were still more people died from the flu than COVID.
But they were getting recorded as COVID deaths.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was getting recorded as COVID deaths. Even if you get hit in the ass with a bus and died, it was because the driver had COVID.
I think going back to where we was talking with the woke side of it, I don't know whether what we're classing as... You see, I always think of the Mary Whitehouse. And it seems like everyone's turned into Mary Whitehouse.
I wouldn't say Mary Whitehouse
That
for me
vein,
was a moral crusade. But that range of age, yeah.
Well, surely woke is a moral...
No.
Why not?
It's not, though. It's not.
Well, if you're trying to make people aware of racism, sexism, and things like that, surely that is.
No, they're not, though. A lot of them are just there to decry it, to point the finger and say, you are a misogynist. Or you are a racist because you don't agree with my view. That's what it mainly means now.
Yeah, that's how it's been, how it's coming across, yeah.
Sorry, Steve, I didn't.
That's basically kind of what I was just about to say. It only takes one person to complain about it. It only takes one person to take umbrage against something, and that is blown out of fucking proportion.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the amount of books that's now banned. Look at the amount of songs that's now banned. The amount of films that are banned that you can't see anymore. Classic movies that you can't watch anymore because somebody's taken offence. It's ridiculous.
Here's one for you.
History is there for a reason.
Yeah.
To learn from
the past cannot be changed, but we learn by it.
No,
we should be able to learn by it.
Yeah, we should be. Fat Bottom Girls was removed from Queen's Greatest Hits by Universal because it was felt it would cause it was too raunchy because it was obviously about larger ladies who were into sexual pleasures, and it may cause offence. Who fucking decided that? It was written by a gay guy, for God's sakes.
See, that's the problem, isn't it? All of a sudden, we are being controlled by a minority.
Newspeak? What's Newspeak, Graham? I'm intrigued. Good on you, Gailey. I'm proud of my fat bottom. They can feck off. I think this is where the issue is.
1984.
This is where the issue is coming in. It's not just the Karens. It's not just the keyboard warriors. It's now become the businesses who don't want to be labelled because they've seen that damage it does to the bottom line.
Well, I mean, you look at any advertisement on television. We have the new special family now.
Who that?
You have one white person, one black person,
And
or you have
mixed race
two
kids.
blokes or two girls.
Little sideline here. Do you want to giggle? Somebody actually accused me of being racist the other day without knowing the fact where I was born or the fact I had the shit kicked out of me on a regular basis in the small mining village in Derby because I had a South African accent. Oh, fuck yes. That was an interesting conversation. And you know why they called me racist? Because I voiced the opinion why rather than just accepting apologies, there was a story on the news about a family that had set up an educational fund in Western Africa because their family built its fortune off slavery, and there was a group in the West Indies that piped up and said, hold on, most of the slaves here came from there, where's our money? Didn't mention anything else, just said, where's our money? And because I voiced an opinion that said, what's the crack there then? I'm a racist.
How?
I'd love to know.
See, that's the problem with the racist card, isn't it? It is so easily dealt but not explained.
Oh, Norse, I love you for that. We've got a saying in Norway. Merita, mera ver glad. Basically, we should love all and everyone. So
Totally.
hopefully I didn't slaughter that one, Norse. I do apologise, mate. That's excellent.
Do you know what I find strange or unusual? I find that certain groups, I'm not going to name the groups or anything like that, and I'm going to try and be careful what I say here. They seem to go looking for it.
But this is
I'll
what
give
I'm
you
saying.
I'll give you an example. I'm not sure if it's. I'm not a football fan. I'm not sure if it's Manchester United's logo or Manchester City's logo. It's got a ship on it,
See,
and that ship they classed it as a slave trader's ship.
how?
That part I don't know, but I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute. Isn't that really pushing it? And I find that's happening quite a lot.
Don't you think vandalising the cenotaph, given what that means to a lot of people, and the fact there was multicultural soldiers honoured on that, what's the crack there then? Dude,
But the thing is, they only seem to read into it what they want to read into it. They don't see the bigger picture. They're taking snippets out of history here, left, right, and centre, and saying, "Well, I'm offended by that." But what about all that? What about all this? All the good stuff that's happened? No, I'm offended because of this. They're
Now,
nitpicking.
there's quite a few different groups that would class us as privileged white people.
really?
Oh yeah, they would, yeah, and I really hate that.
How the fuck can you be a privileged white person? You're out knocking your pan in fucking 5 days a week, 6 days a week to put bread on the table.
Exactly. See, the thing is, though, I got taught, and I'm sure you guys got taught, that you respect your fellow man. It's a simple fellow person.
Yeah, I mean, Fee's right. All our ancestors have been enslaved at some point or other in the past. Yeah, I mean, it happened to the Scots race fucking centuries ago.
The Saxons,
Yeah,
the Danes did it to the Saxons.
We
I
did
mean,
it to the Chinese. We've done. I mean, this country, when we was in the empire, we did all sorts of blooming things.
we start. I think the UK, well, Britain at the time started a lot of it.
I
That's
mean, you
what
look at the
bothers
tea
me.
trade.
Mm.
The only place that you once upon a time you could buy tea was from China. And then we made it so it was sort of like the Opium Wars.
Mm.
And then we managed to get a bloke in to nick the tea, and that's why you got tea in India.
And West Indian Trading Company.
Yeah, that was it. The West
That was the
Indian.
biggest con. Two very good points here. Village Vapor, both sides do. I'm with Ricky Gervais, the far left and the far right, just two sides of the same coin.
Mhm.
That is a very,
It
very
is right.
relevant point. And Kay raises, can you imagine if we turned to our parents and said we were offended? They would have laughed at us and told us to grow a backbone after
Yeah,
they'd beaten 7 bells of shit out of us for talking.
Yeah, or even worse, than saying to your parents, "I'm taking you to court because I want to divorce you because you never asked me if I wanted to be born."
Yeah, look,
Although that one was a piss take apparently, but you know where I'm coming from.
yeah, but there's ones that aren't a piss take.
No, I know.
You know, I think it might have been the States, but wasn't there somebody that took their parents to court because
Yeah, there's been loads of them
They
in America
labelled
that
them
took
as
the
a
parents
male,
to courts
didn't
and wanted a divorce from them.
you know, come on, bit of common sense.
I look at
guys.
it this way as well, and I might be controversial, and if I upset someone, I'm sorry. I do apologise. At what point do you keep on paying for it? How far back how many generations? How many of my generations do I have to go back before it's sort of like, right, that's the cut-off point. Anything before that, we'll forget about, but you've got to pay penance from there onwards.
Yeah, but
Where does that come from?
well, they did. Did they not do it with? Was it Benedict Cumberbatch? They took his. They followed his family tree all the way back, and his great grandfather's uncle's brother's dog sister's granny was something to do with possibly the slave trade or a plantation or something. But they were wanting him to pay recompense for it. Fuck off.
I think that point, I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
To be honest, my family tree can be traced back, includes some of the Swedish missionaries at Rorke's Drift. You know Zulu. You know the geezer that got locked into the little shed. Apparently, a member of my family was part of that. So who's going to sue me then? The British Army or the Zulus? Because I ain't paid. You know what I mean?
I mean,
It's
let's face it,
ridiculous.
as a society, I think I would like to believe that we've grown. I would like to believe that racism in general isn't a thing. And I'm quite, as a person, me personally, I am quite accepting. It don't matter what creed, colour or kind, the only thing that I've got against is hurting animals and hurting kids. That's it. If you want to do whatever you want to do, you go for it.
But do you not think racism can be easily replaced with the word jealousy? Because when you look at it, yeah, why does it start? In the 70s, the racism
Fuck you, Graham.
racism was because you got working class whites, yeah, and a lot of the Oya movement and that and the skins was working class. You didn't see many middle class kids joining them, and they were seeing the immigrants come in, and the immigrants were buckling down. They were starting to own shops, they were building businesses, they were doing well for themselves, and it was the jealousy of it that started all this. That's the phrase coming over here taking our jobs.
See, the thing is, though, as well, it's in human nature. We are a packed animal.
Yeah, we are.
We are a pack animal.
Anything different has to be fought
And
off.
anything different, yeah, has to be eliminated. It's naturally inbred. That's why we still have wars, etc.
Sometimes I wonder whether that phrase inbred is actually a lot more load bearing than you think. But
You know, as a species, we are wonderful. We are an amazing species. We create the most beautiful things. We
yeah, and we
really
fuck
do.
them.
But
Yeah, and
we
then
are,
destroy it.
yeah, we are the ape hitting the hammer on his own self-destruction.
Yeah. I mean, I had to laugh. I had to laugh at something I saw the other day. It was some English guy ranting about the Indian space agency putting the rocket on the moon, on the dark side of the moon, blah blah blah, and he's fucking screaming for the top of his lungs. Well, I think we should stop sending aid to India, because if they can afford to send a rocket to the moon, then they don't need our foreign aid, blah 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 blah. So there was a reply back to that with an Indian newsreader, I think it was, and she says, "Okay, one, India's not had foreign aid from the UK for a good few years, and
Yep.
two, if you want to go down that route, send all the fucking money back that you stole when fucking Queen Victoria was still on the fucking throne, because you owe us millions, billions even, for the amount of money and stuff that you raped out of this country. So
Yep.
you need to watch what you're saying."
Of course you do.
And this is the problem. People don't get historical, they get hysterical.
Yeah.
When it suits them, people have very long memories. We all have that one friend that whatever you say, they will counter with something that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is mental, to be fair. I mean, in this day and age, with the amount of communication between cultures and all the rest of it, we shouldn't even be raising this.
We shouldn't.
Really
No,
shouldn't.
not in this day and age. No.
You should be respecting the differences. Differences are what make us as a race. Not only the biggest.
What makes us blooming amazing, to be honest with you.
Oh, we are the best simile I can think of, a version of planetary pox. We get everywhere and we fuck it up when we leave.
Right, we have reached past. You know what that means, don't we, ladies and gentlephones? Would somebody like to win 4 50ml bottles of Shytots? May I ask? May I ask? If you would like to, put this in chat.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Come on, kiddies, get typing.
If you
4
would
bottles
like
of
to
wonderful
win.
juice. Which flavours is it again, Gaffer?
I'm not 100% sure on the flavours. Jane will have to confirm their flavours, but I did get a picture. She did send me it. It's there.
Good lad.
This is UK only, I'm afraid. And the winner needs to email Jane at shytots26@gmail.com. So get your names in, Shytots.
And we also want you to sign a piece of paper that says I am going to spend at least 120 quid at the stall come the next Vape Expo. Is that right, Jane? I'm waiting for the shut up in capital letters. There's a government media made sure they expect I'm not sure what they expect over the past 5 years, and that's all. 100%. I'd go with that, Richard. The biggest problem with racism is the government and media not sure what they expected over the past 5 years, but that's all the Western world, including the EU. I hope you're getting off light then. Yes, Dawn's completed her dissertation, so hopefully there will be a graduation ceremony. Well, I don't think we're going up to Scotland. So what we've said is we're going to take a photo in the backyard. She's going to have her fetish duck cap, the Shytots baseball cap, as her graduation hat because she refuses to pay nearly $1,000 just to go up, wear a silly hat, and have people clap.
She's going to get the clap.
Hopefully afterwards, yeah.
Are we all in? Are we
Nice.
all in? Shall I roll it?
I'd give it another second or so because they seem to be sort of slipping
Come
through.
on, you stragglers. If you would like to win the Shytots giveaway, get your Shytots name in there.
Having vaped a lot of it, I will honestly say you are doing your taste buds a favour. See, I can't even do it without saying the word flavour. Mark, from the human biologist's point of view, if there wasn't hatred and fighting, we'd all die due to overpopulation. That's what we're doing already because we invented antibiotics.
Yeah, I think that's where COVID-19 failed because it wasn't the biggest. It wasn't the big mass killer that they thought it was going to be. So
Right, I'm going to roll
back to the
it.
drawing board.
And the winner
It's
is
going to be another mysterious leak.
Norse Vapor. Congratulations. Do you want it? Norse, do you want it?
But where
Not
does
from the UK.
that's what I just think. Where does Norse Vapor reside?
Where does Norse Vapor reside?
Norway, I'd guess.
Yeah.
He must be in the toilet.
Fuck
Yeah,
it.
clues in the name. Yeah, duh.
Now, if Norse has won it, Jane, let me know how much the postage is and I'll sort it.
Yeah, so that's what you need to
Right,
do, Norse.
he's put Piffet.
Piff it. Are we going to
You
piff
sure,
it
Norse?
too?
I'm happy to pay for it, mate.
Yeah.
If we got another roll, then
Give it to Fee, he's saying. Can't do
fees in
that
South
either.
Africa, mate.
Tips.
See, we're such a global event.
I know.
He's in South Africa.
So you got to piff it to someone else. Re-roll it. Okay. Stuart Dill, you've won. Congratulations. Stuart, you need to email Jane there at shytots26@gmail.com.
Was that? Did you put that in chat?
I will put it in chat.
Piff to fact, for fuck's sake. So it's went from Norway to South Africa to Scotland, now back to England.
Faxi, you know the score. Email Jane.
Email Jane.
Anybody else?
Don't you dare piff it.
I'm just thinking, do you get airmails with that lot? There you go.
Faxi, I know your preference. There we are. Jane's got it sorted. She's on top of it. Bless.
God.
Well, but a big thank you to all the winners.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking hundreds of them.
Got to give a big shout out to Jane from Shytots. Thanks ever so much for doing the giveaway this week.
100%. Thank you, Jane. Now, I'm going to mention Richard's comment here because it is one that quite a few people voice. I think all foreign aid should cease until we get our own house country in order. I personally will leave 3 children, 3 granddaughters, hopefully more, that they won't have a future.
Yeah, but
There
the
is
thing
that
is, though,
concern.
when you're talking about foreign aid and things like that, it's not quite straightforward as, oh, we're just handing this country over a pile of money. There's lots of deals that are involved with that, trade deals and things like that. That's where it's sort of like you get countries. I'm not going to name countries because anyway. But what a country will do is, well, we'll support you. We'll put this infrastructure in for you, and you can pay us it back. And that country can never, ever pay them back. That's one of the problems that we need to solve.
Charity begins at home.
Well, not just that, OPEC countries. A lot of the so-called foreign aid is so that you get preferential treatment when you are buying the said oil.
I mean, there was on about only the other day on Facebook. There was a pair of peaches, peaches that you eat. They ship them, they're grown in South America, shipped over to them in Taiwan to be packaged to be sold back to America.
It's mental.
Yeah, but it's trade deals. I've known that in the UK, that certain items get put on boats, shipped over to America, left in port, then brought back to the UK, and it's a lot less tax for them.
Martin, yeah, some of them are. Some of them are, fair point. However, quite a lot of them are used in sweeteners in trade deals. Most aid companies are a front for spying agencies. That did used to be the case. The CIA had plenty of those in Vietnam, etc.
Yeah, Vietnam, Cambodia, Air America.
I mean, we've got to accept it. The financial side of things is so corrupt. It's unbelievable.
And this is where the elitism bit comes in. Because elitism, whether you agree with it or not, is always going to exist because somebody's going to have more of something than somebody else.
Yeah, of course. That's capitalism.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, if you were the blacksmith and everybody wanted an iron sword,
charge what you want.
Yeah. Care Australia's one. Bloody hell, you boys spied on each other, Stuart. Do I start after cladding the house in tinfoil? No, mate. It sounds like it is, but nah.
Right, we've got roughly about 10 minutes before we finish, and I'd like to see if we can turn this around a little bit.
Go on then.
I'm going to start with you, Betty. Where do you think we're going to go from at the present moment with the woke and how people are reacting, very offended on very small subjects and things like that? Where do you think, next 5-10 years, where we're going to go from here? Is it going to get worse or is it...
Personally, I think it's going to get worse. Because the governments and the authorities they're too afraid to step into some of this stuff because they know they'll get dragged into it. I mean, look at some of the shit that's going. I mean, take that Just Stop Oil carry on, right? They're blocking roads left, right, and centre. I mean, they're doing it all over the world now. And the UK at this moment in time is the only country that will not drag the fuckers off the road. You see them in Germany, you see them in France. They've glued themselves to the road and everything. What do? They dig the road up. Fuck off. The guy's still got the tarmac stuck to his hand. I mean, look at the idiot that jumped into the concrete and I think he lost his leg. But we won't do. We're too. The UK is softly. They don't want to upset the apple cart. That's why I think it's going to get worse, especially in this country. It's going to get worse before it gets better.
Do you believe that we are heading towards a 1984?
I don't think so much we're heading towards a 1984, but I think we're heading towards something, and it's not for the good. I think the likes of us fogies are going to be put out to pasture, shall we say.
Soylent Green. Go on then, BFG, your final words.
I think there's going to be a backlash, and I think there will be a backlash soon, and it won't come from the corridors of power. It will come from the street. And I think if you're going to get somebody giving it a Karen in the middle of Tesco, she's going to get a nasty shock. And I think once that starts getting reported, etc., it's going to grow. If you look at the 70s compared to the 60s, 60s was all happy, peace and love, and the idea that you share everything and nobody should own anything. And through the 70s into the 80s, it all went to commercialism, didn't it? The backlash is coming.
Do you know something? Obviously, we're finishing up now. I kind of agree with both of you on this subject. I think it's going to get worse. I really do. I think it will get really worse. But it will get to a point where things do backlash. And I don't think it's good. I think the point that it will backlash is when it's hurting people's pockets. When the actual standard of living drops, not just a little bit, but drops drastically. That's coming. Now. It's already coming. It's bad enough now. You think it's bad now. You wait until we go carbon neutral in 2050. And you will have no gas heaters, you will no coal, you're going to have heat pumps, all the rest of it, electric cars like we were saying all last week. Once it starts hitting the general public in the pocket and their standard of living, that's when things will start changing.
But I'm not talking about the environmentalism bit. I'm talking about this idea that you're
I'm not talking about environment. I'm on about the standard of human living. When all these people, us included, when we can't afford to live, that's when the change will happen.
What I'm waiting for is when somebody successfully takes one of these Karens, who's a white 50-year-old male, to court and wins. Because that's coming. The legal definition of racism, is when you discriminate against somebody because of either their race or that your assumption of their race. Yeah. And you can be charged with an offence if that person perceives it as racism. Yeah. Not going to take long before some of these start getting thrown out of court.
Martin says a lot of them will be dead by 2050.
Yeah, but the thing is, Steve, though, you've got to think about it as well, is by the time a lot of this is going to be coming to court, the millennials are the ones that's going to be sitting as judge and jury. So they fuckers have no common sense anyway.
But the legal definition states it's those who are perceived to have more influence on society. But our power on it is disappearing rapidly, mate.
But that'll be your Instagram influencers and shit like that. That's what that'll be.
Well, yeah.
Right, on that note.
You're no fun.
Betty, time to say your goodbye, sir.
I'm with Bill. We're doomed. We're doomed
with Jasper Prune.
Guys out there in Chatland, thank you very much for joining us this lovely Thursday evening. That was a rather heated subject. I was actually sitting back and watching Mark and Steve going at it, and I'm like, oh shit. I think we've kind of lit a fuse here that was maybe possibly the wrong thing to do. But no, from my point of view, it was getting a bit, do you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, fuck you, devil's advocate here. Just, no, shut up. Don't get involved. Plead the fifth. So yeah, so that was great. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I mean, arguments coming from both sides, and I think we all seem to be in agreement that we're fucked.
Totally.
Anywho, if you want some more of the same, please come and join us once again next Thursday, 7:30, and we'll see what turns up then. And a big congratulations to the eventual winner of the juice, which was, who was it?
Faxi.
And a big thank you to Jane for donating this week's giveaway. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So come and join us next week, you bunch of loonies, and we'll see what happens then. And I'll pass it over to my illustrious colleague, Stephen.
Thank you. Sunday name, I'm in shit. As Stevie said, join us next week. First off, thank you. That's been a really good debate. For those that thought me and Mark were getting heated with each other.
Oh, God, no, he's my bestie.
That's what we call good old-fashioned debate. We have had some other questions in from people on the email and in Facebook. Please keep them coming. We would like to do something with those possibly next week, possibly more. We need a few more. I'm going to be honest, we've got an hour to fill. Some of this stuff, it's...
So if you've got any questions for your casters, we're doing casters questions. Yes, we are nicking it.
Again.
So get your questions
Yeah,
in.
but it's not so much casters' questions, it's casters' topics of the week.
Mm.
And to be honest with you, some of the stuff we're getting through is giving us food for thought and something we can really get our teeth into.
It's good stuff. Some of it is stuff we've already covered, but of course we've got new viewers in. So yeah, we're probably going to cover some stuff that we might have said before, but there is some really good juicy stuff. And Martin, if you want to do that, that's fabulous. Martin's comments in the Facebook group last week, he's got some stuff for us to have a look at. Happily, mate. You know where to send it. It's up on the screen. Hope you've enjoyed it tonight. Hope nobody's got offended. As I say, that was a good old-fashioned discussion for those who aren't aware of the existence of such a thing. Nobody has to go away crying. We all go away smiling afterwards, and we're probably going to buy each other a pint the next time we see each other. And on that happy note, I shall hand you over to the gaffer.
Guys, what a fantastic show. And yes, it was a very interesting topic. I was worried about this topic, and I think it went very, very well. Guys in chat, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, before you do leave, give us a thumbs up. See if we can smash that number. That'd be absolutely awesome. Helps with the channel, helps with the algorithm, all that kind of stuff. So it really does mean a lot to us. Like I said, next week, not sure what the topic's going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be really interesting. Want to give Shytots Jane, thank you so much for the giveaway. Congratulations, Faxi, you lucky boy. Awesome. Betty, Steve, thank you. It's been an absolute corker of a night, and it's gone so blooming quick.
But it has.
Really has gone quick. So I'm going to say, like I always do, have a wonderful weekend, have a fantastic week, and we'll see you back here 7:30 next Thursday for some more interesting topics. Could be your topic. So from myself and my good fellows, bye.
Adios, muchachos.
Get them in email, Facebook group, we don't care. And if you're interested, I can leave the emails on some point. How can I call the majestic mother? I'll be getting slapped by angels.